Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. Today we are going to take a look at a PSA submission that I just got back. My name's Louie. I'm so glad that you found your way here. We're just going to chat about PSA card grading and the whole process. If you're here for Magic, I did want to show off. I did pick up this Chrome Mox this week. Absolutely really cool DCI promo. This is not going to be much of a Magic video because most of the cards are Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. Actually, all of them are Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Kryptik. So this is the only Magic on this video, but I wanted to show this off. I don't like to get Magic cards graded because I always like to end up playing with them. I think this came as LP just because of that little nick, but I end up putting them in decks and I like playing with them. So I don't usually grade Magic cards. And that's why you're not going to see any Magic pop up. But I have been doing a lot of grading, and so I just wanted to show off and share and have some fun with you guys and talk about PSA. I've been grading a lot with PSA lately. That's kind of what I chose as my grading company, although I am kind of chatting with CGC to maybe get with the store and the channel some stuff going on there, so we may start using CGC a little bit. But for now, Pokemon I typically do in PSA, especially when the prices were lower, although I think they just got more expensive. So these cost me about $15 per card to grade, 15 to 20. Some of them, because of the value, ended up being 40 to 50, and I didn't know that until they ended up sending them back. But let's chat about them. I'll tell you kind of why I got them graded and what I plan to do with them. The slabs in the store have been on fire. We have seen a ton of people coming into our store just looking for slabs. We have a whole wall kind of dedicated to that. This Dragonite, though, is something that is for me. I am a huge Dragonite fan, probably my favorite Pokemon. And this is just a card that got traded in, and so I said I want that for my personal collection. I was sending a bunch of stuff anyway. I didn't anticipate it would get that high. I'm okay with a 7 on that. But this Charizard, a PSA 9 base set unlimited Charizard, this is about a $1,200 card. Excited to see this come back in a 9. Very, very good condition, and very, very excited about it. I did not anticipate getting a 10. It had a little nick down here. Another little print dot right there. So I did not anticipate getting in a 10. A 9 I was obviously stoked for. I kind of anticipated more of an 8, but obviously excited about that. I already have a 9 in Charizard, and I already have my first edition Charizard. So this is probably something that goes to the store to get that cash flow moving a little bit. But then we got a Rosa, a Patron Rosa foil. Super cool. This got a 9. I'm not sure exactly. You got some edging a little bit down there too. But Patron foil Rosa, absolutely gorgeous. Of course, Kryptik is a game that we've been doing a lot of on the channel and a lot of in the store. Really, really fun. Really excited about that. We'll see if I might already have one of those Rosas. I think I have a Yugioh first edition, so this is probably something that ends up in the store. You can see some print lines on this. Now, this got an 8, and I was actually kind of surprised by it. You can see right there that it's actually on the card. So I thought that was going to ding it a little bit worse. But the back, I guess, saved it, even though there's a little ding down there. But yeah, anyway, Yugioh is something that definitely, this is a store card, something to move and store. And, even if it was going to get the same grade, it was not going to, if I knew it was going to get a 7, to me, it's still worth grading because people like buying slabs that it doesn't necessarily add a ton of value to the card, but it definitely takes away any of the conversation of what is the condition and what is the value, because you can look up comps very easily. So really excited about that for sure on the Yugioh. And Yugioh is a hot card right now. Now, modern cards, I don't love collecting modern Pokemon. That's just not my thing. I like vintage Pokemon, and this is one of the things I love about Pokemon, is there's something to collect for everyone. Some people love collecting modern, and if they do, then this is great for them, and they'll come in and they'll look for it, or if it doesn't end up selling locally, I'll sell it on eBay. But modern Pokemon is great. It just doesn't do it for me. I like the vintage stuff. I like the things that were around when I was a kid. So Charizard VMAX, even though that got a 10, not something that I'm terribly excited about. There's a lot of 10s of the Charizard VMAX. These are the Ultra Prism. Sun and Moon, honestly don't know a whole lot about this card. Again, I don't collect a ton of modern, but shout out to Lauren, my store manager, who suggested that we send in this one to get graded in a 9. We'll obviously extend the value a little bit. Trainer cards are super hot right now. That is something that is super popular. And the waifu ones, I don't think that really counts as a waifu card. I have no clue, but yeah. Anyway, Dark Charizard, one of my favorite cards of all time. So I sent this one in because it has a swirl. I kind of knew that this wasn't going to get a super high grade. I think on the back, Yeah. This one, honestly, what did it get? A 7? Is there anything on the surface? Oh, maybe a scratch right there. Honestly, a 7 is a little lower than maybe I would have anticipated, but it had a swirl. Anything with a swirl, I usually end up getting slabbed. Just anything this high end in a Charizard still worth getting slabbed. I'd have to look to see if I have any of those in the back. So, all right, this is now the first Yu-Gi-Oh you've ever seen on my channel. I actually picked these up and decided to send them in. I know nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh, but these I decided to send in simply put because they look like they were in pretty good condition. I did not anticipate getting a 10s. Honestly, I have never looked at enough Yu-Gi-Oh cards to know exactly like what the corners should look like, and I thought these corners were a little rounded, and so I actually didn't think that these were going to get 10s, and I actually got these back and they picked up 10s, and these are really, really good cards to have in a 10. So really excited about that. I don't know what I'll end up doing with these. I don't collect Yu-Gi-Oh, so and the store doesn't do a whole lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, so I'm not really sure exactly where these end up, but they are here for now. A little bummed that this one didn't get the 10, because, you know, then you'd have a complete set of the 3 of them with a 10, but, you know, it is what it is. You can't complain. And it's honestly surprising because usually when you send cards in, the more art, the easier it is to get a 10 or a higher grade because there's less hollow that can get scratched. So this must have something to do with one of the corners or whatever. Yu-Gi-Oh is not my jam, not something I really know a whole lot about. But when we do get stuff in, I am happy to send it in and get graded. So this first edition Dark Paladin, I got a 9. Yeah, so again, like this stuff in high grade like that is definitely worth sending in to get graded. As a store, it's just not something I do a whole lot of, so we'll see what happens. This Gyarados, I just love the artwork. This one was for me. This is like about the cutoff. What year is this? 2015. It's actually a little bit too modern for me to like actually want, but occasionally when I really like the artwork and it's a Pokemon that I like, I'll keep it, let my daughter play around with it. I like getting cards slabbed. I mean, for $15, this allows me to share it with my kids and not have to worry about them bending the card and that kind of stuff. They're like 3, so it's kind of nice to, on the things that I plan on keeping forever, it's something I usually do. Venusaur in a 7, nothing super special here. Man, that's actually a lower grade than the back. Looks really good. Must have a scratch or something on it. You can see a lot of hollow here. I don't really like to criticize the graders. I obviously did very, yeah, I think there's a scratch right there. I don't really like criticizing the graders. I'm no pro grader. And so I kind of just take it for what it is. And this one I was actually super excited about. I got a lot of 10s. So Zorora, this is just a more rare card, harder to pull. It looked like a really good centering and condition, so I sent it in. I was sending in a bunch of cards anyway, so that's why that one got in. Another Charizard VMAX, another 10 here. Again, I don't collect modern, so this is more or less a card that came into the store, looked really good. Might as well send it in to get graded, see what happens. Cost me a little bit extra money in shipping and grading, and then there's a little bit extra margin on the back end of that as well, obviously. So that's kind of what I do as a store. Let's see. Oh, PSA 10 Kryptik Patron Brassman's Will. This is a hot card. Christopher Rush artwork, really cool to see that on a new indie TCG. This is the patron card, and a 10 is, I think, pretty difficult. Haven't followed those a ton. That's just on the slab. Haven't followed that a ton, but really excited to see that one come back in a 10. Things like that, it's hard for me because I'm not going to collect all of those, so it's hard for me to justify keeping them. Azilla in the Kryptik language came back a 10. These are 1 of 11. So the pop report on the card in total is 11. And then I don't know what the population are. I haven't looked these up for the pop, but I would imagine very low. These are hard to get in 10s because the edging from the printer. So pretty stoked to get a 10 in any Kryptik card. And in this case, a Kryptik language. Pretty excited about that. We got another one in the Bakuda. So what I usually do for these is any of the cards I send in, I wipe them down with a microfiber cloth. That's something that tends to help with the hollows. Wipe them down with a microfiber cloth very lightly, and then if there's any residue on the backs of the cards, I'll wipe those off too. So a 10 in the Bakuda. I think I already have another one of those. Maybe not in a 10 though. All right, some more Yu-Gi-Oh. Black Skull Dragon in a 9, and a Summon Skull in a 9. Still very high-end cards. Again, I don't know a ton about Yu-Gi-Oh! This was a learning experience for me on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Side. So trying to stretch my abilities as a store owner to be able to take in more stuff. That's basically what this kind of stuff is. A couple more slabs here. Oh, the Gengar, one of my favorite modern Pokemon artworks. I will certainly be keeping one of these. I think I have 2 of these that came back. Yeah, there's the other one. I have 2 of these that came back, both in 10, so I'll probably sell one of these. I'll probably keep one for myself and the kids. I kind of look at that as college fund. I know that's not the right way to look at it. We have a regular college fund too, but really cool to get Gengar back. And this is a card I tried to open for a while. You should never try to open Pokemon to get cards that you want. You should just buy them. So that's what we did, and sent them in. Both got 10, so pretty stoked about that one. 3 cards left. Let's see what we got. Shining Mew. Shout out to Lauren, actually, my store manager, the one who told me to send this one in. Got a 10 too, so super stoked about that. Actually, I have a buddy who's already looking to pick this up, so that's fun. I'm a big fan of Mew, but I don't collect a bunch of Mew, so I'll much rather give it to somebody who will appreciate it more than I would. I'm also not a big fan of the evolutions. I know this is like a hot thing right now. I do have a one Moonbreon that I bought. Shout out to Stacks. But yeah, this is just, it just doesn't do much for me. I like the older, I guess it's not that new, but it's cool. You know, in a 10, it's awesome. But this stuff is what does it. Like the old holos, especially Swirls Get the Girls, Dark Blastoise. Really excited. I really like this card. One of my favorite Pokemon cards of all time. Dark Blastoise, Dark Charizard. I don't know. I didn't get to open a ton of Rocket or anything like that, but just one of my favorite cards. So really stoked. Obviously a very good submission to get this many 10s, and especially those Yu-Gi-Oh cards came back really high. So no complaints on this submission. I had another submission a couple days ago that came back that wasn't super stoked about, but this one felt pretty good. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is for sale. I do that. I have to sell stuff. So I'm no Rudy where I'm like, hey, nothing's for sale. So if you are interested in anything, hit me up. KitchenTableTCG@gmail.com, especially the Yu-Gi-Oh side of stuff. It's just not my world. So a lot of the other stuff will end up in our store though. Anyway, have yourself a great day. Be kind to the people around you. Let me know what you think about all the slabs. And don't forget, this is still kind of a magic video with the chrome box. Let me know what you think of everything. Just wanted to share with you. Have yourself a great day. Be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.